Okay. Cheese is next. Stay with me. Is that what you need? Is that what you need? All right, say thank you. Say thank you. Okay. Speak.
You will.
Okay, good. All right, we have Matilda, we have me, and today we're going to be making, let them know what we're going to be making because I actually don't know how to pronounce it, Ukweli.
Of course, Keith. Today we're going to be making what we could whimsically call the Azzip Inoreppep, which is basically our fun upside-down pepperoni pizza experiment. So we'll have some fun flipping things around, and I'll be here to help you narrate all the science and the technique behind it. Let's get started.
All right, so we have a little bit of different things and technology that we're gonna, look at. We have a HexClad pan. We have to season that. What is the seasoning of a HexClad pan, Ukweli?
Certainly, Keith. In a formal sense, seasoning a HexClad pan, or really any hybrid or stainless non-stick pan, is the process of lightly coating it with a high smoke point oil and heating it so that the oil bonds to the pan's surface. This creates a more effective semi-permanent non-stick layer. In practical terms, you'll just rub a thin layer of something like grapeseed or canola oil on the surface, then heat the pan gently until it just starts to smoke and let it cool. That helps maintain its non-stick performance and protects the cooking surface. And of course, there's more to say if you'd like me to continue.
But this HexClad said that we're supposed to do it for like 20 minutes on a medium heat, not like an iron pan.
Absolutely, Keith. That's a good point. With the HexClad, they do recommend a slightly different approach than you'd use for a cast iron. So instead of just a quick high heat season, you'll let it sit at a moderate heat for around 20 minutes so that the oil can bond thoroughly to that hybrid surface. It's a bit more of a gentle seasoning process, but it's definitely what they recommend to get that nice, even non-stick layer.
All right.
And of course, if you like...
That's what we're going to be doing, and we're going to be using this Induction cooktop to get it done, and we're going to be using specific temperatures. It's going to have to be at a higher temperature to start, then it's going to have to go to a lower temperature, then we're going to add some cheese, then we're going to put the pizza dough upside down. Right now, we're going to be making the pizza dough. And I want to let you know that you don't have to have a fancy schmancy KitchenAid device. You can make this dough by hand. I've pre-measured all of the ingredients, and I will put them on the screen during the edit because I don't want to bother. It's just like making pizza dough. I am, however, going to add some spices. I do not want to put any onions or garlic in this pizza. Can you tell them why, Ukweli?
Certainly, Keith. In a formal sense, the reason you might choose to skip onions or garlic in this particular upside-down pizza is to let the simpler flavors shine through.
No, you're forgetting about a young lady named Matilda May.
Of course, Keith. My apologies for not mentioning her. In a formal explanation, it's absolutely reasonable to avoid onions or garlic if you have a discerning taste tester like Matilda May around. Some dogs are sensitive with those ingredients, so it's both practical and considerate to leave them out. That way everyone, including your four-legged sous chef, can enjoy the final product.
Isn't it actually poisonous to dogs, Ukweli?
Yes, Keith, that's correct. Formally speaking, onions and garlic are indeed toxic to dogs. They contain compounds that can damage a dog's red blood cells and lead to health issues, which is why it's always safest to keep those ingredients out of any dish a dog wet sample. So you're absolutely making the right call there, and that's the formal reason behind it.
We are using a Portuguese olive oil.
Absolutely, Keith. Using a Portuguese olive oil is a lovely touch. Formally speaking, it can add a distinct and nuanced flavor to your dough or your seasoning process. Portuguese olive oils are often known for their smoothness and a slightly fruity or peppery profile, which should pair nicely with the flavors you're building. So it's a great choice and adds a little extra character to the dish.
All right, let's mix the dough.
Certainly, Keith. Let's proceed with that. We'll take your pre-measured ingredients and combine them step by step. Formally, you'll start by mixing your flour with a pinch of salt and any spices you're using. Then you'll make a small well in the center and gradually incorporate your yeast mixture and water, followed by a drizzle of that Portuguese olive oil. Just knead it until it's smooth and elastic, and then we'll let it rest so it can rise. If you like more details as we go along, just let me know.
Ukweli, how long would you say this machine needs to knead the dough before it's ready?
Certainly, Keith. Formally speaking, if you're using a machine like a stand mixer, you generally let it knead the dough for about 5 to 7 minutes.
We're going to make the pizza sauce. Very easy. Tomato sauce, tomato paste. We have a mixed Italian spice. We have basil, because I like a little extra. A little bit of hot pepper, a little bit of chili powder to give it a little spice, a little kick. Dr. Pepper will not be added. That's for me. Cheers. We're going to be dicing up a little bit of pepperoni and putting it in the sauce. We're going to be simmering it at 200 degrees for about 15 minutes. And that will be it. So let's get started. One thing people don't know about these cans is if you just get your fingernail underneath there a little bit, you can just, it comes right off. Again, I'll show you. Just get your fingernail underneath this little lip here, pull a little bit harder than usual, and boom, comes right off. So we're going to put this on 200 and easily just put this in here. It calls for a teaspoon of everything else here. Wow, this is pretty thick though. Look at that. All right, throw that in there. That's pretty thick. This is my wife's pan from Japan. It's a Tiger skillet. It's very good though. It's very evenly heated. It has a different kind of coil. It's not the usual coil that you see. I'll show you. Look at that. It's just a plate-like thing. All right, let's put this in there. Let us dice the pepperoni I said. Take a couple of pieces, see if this is the right stuff. Yep, this is the right stuff. I'm dicing this thing really, really fine. If you can see, first one way, then the other, making little tiny cubes. And the other. No pressure. Put that in there as a spice. Pepperoni is a spice. And then a teaspoon of each of these. Italian spice, bam. Basil. Put a little bit less because there's already some in here. Bam. And not too much of this. I don't want it to taste like chili powder. I just wanted to have a little bit of kick that they can't tell. What is that taste there? All right, what is that flavor? I can't put my finger on it. It's this. All right. So I'm gonna clean all this up, stir this stuff in, make sure that tomato paste is all incorporated, and I'll let it simmer for, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes. It really just needs to be incorporated and maybe sit for a while to get those spices incorporated. Normally, I may saute a little bit of onion and mushroom and garlic, but like I said before, Matilda May is going to be eating some of the crust of this, and maybe some of the sauce and cheese and all that. So this is going to be a dog safe upside down pepperoni pizza. I'll make Ukweli, my AI, pronounce it again. How do you say that again? The upside down pepperoni pizza. I'll give you another close-up on camera 2. Then I'll cover it until it's ready, put it away. The next thing you're going to see is us making the pizza in the HexClad with the induction top, cooktop. I'm going to turn this down a little bit under 200 or medium low. All right, see you in a little bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the point to where we're going to make the upside down pizza. The first thing we're going to have to do is spread some pepperoni around in a symmetrical fashion and let that brown a little bit as is. The burner is at 300 degrees. We're going to put a layer of cheese down right now. While that's happening, I want to make sure the layer is solid. While that is happening, I think that this will be turned down just a little bit as far as the temperature goes. Seems a little bit too hot to me. Turning it to 200. And I'm spreading that cheese nicely. In the meantime, Matilda, you like cheese? Up, 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 up. Here you go. All right. So in the meantime, I have, let's put some more pepperoni on there just in case for the gipper. A little bit more pepperoni. And I have a pan back here that is 12 inches, like a deep dish pan. And I'm going to do the forming of that, the dough in there. All right, let's increase that temperature. It's not crisping as much as I wanted it to. 280. Let's get this out of here. And let's start spreading the dough inside this 12-incher. This 12-inch pan. And it looks nice. The dough rose just perfectly. And it's spreading out nicely in this thing too. We don't want it to stretch back. So we're just going to do that. Lots of pepperoni in here. All right. That we have. So I asked AI, she told me to turn it down to about 160 once it starts crisping up on the bottom. I wanted to get nice and browned. I have a document down below that talks about the process going on and all the scientific details of it. I wanted to have Ukweli explain it to you on camera, and I still may do it on the edit for her to explain the Maillard process and everything involved with it and the famous people involved. So while I'm getting this dough on the top of this here, I'm going to let her explain it in the edit. And I oiled this pan so the dough would not stick. All right. But now that means we have to put some tomato paste, the tomato sauce on it that we prepared. We're just gonna spread it quite evenly. It's nice and thick so it doesn't fall off when I put it on top of this cheese here. I want to make sure there's enough sauce in every bite. You can see that. And I think that there's much too much sauce. We could make 2 or 3 pizzas with all this sauce. I just want to make sure it's evenly coated. Looks pretty good to me. Let's turn this up just a little bit to make sure that cheese is browned on the bottom there. I'll give it one momentito, and I'll give you a little close-up of it. I can smell it. I'm going to turn it down to 160. And then we're going to try to place this on there evenly. This is not going to be easy. But we can't be concerned with getting a little bit dirty here. There we go. I got a little bit of tomato sauce on top. I'm going to, whoops, press the edges down here. Slightly. Cover it. And I believe that's it. I will put it on time lapse so you can see it. That's how it looks. I'll give you a close up. There is some tomato paste on the back of it. We'll see what I can do about that. I realized a few things. 160 is way too low of a temperature. I turned it to 200, but I'm listening to it, making sure it's not sizzling too much, because really it just needs to be steaming in there and not heating up the bottom too much more. Another thing that I noticed is when to flip it. It's been more than 20 minutes now. The top of it is starting to get dull colored. It used to be kind of shiny and glistening. Now it is a little bit dull. I'm going to make sure that the bottom is not sticking, even though it's a HexClad. And then I'm going to use this cutting board to do a sloop to dupe, to flip it over and then flip it back so the bottom side gets browned. So stand by. When it's done, I'll give you another close-up on camera B, but right now it's steaming in there. It's almost all dull colored on the top, except for right around this area. Maybe I'll move the lid because that's right where this hole was. Anyway, stand by. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now is the time where we are going to perform the sloop-a-doop. Now, you would never believe me if I told you, but this has been steaming for over an hour, about an hour and 10 minutes. I'm going to increase the temperature, wait till it sizzles, and then put it back down again. Re-sizzle that top. From time to time, I would open it and wipe this down because there was a lot of moisture that got released. How did I know when it was finally finished? Well, if I push my finger in there and it stayed, it's not ready. If it springs back a little bit, it's ready to toast. Now, the bottom of this should already have oil and stuff on it because of the cheese. Oh, look at that, sliding around. Woohoo! So anyway, the HexClad worked. Now we're going to do the sloop to dupe. That is the technical term for it. And then place it back in the pan. I hear it sizzling just a bit. The key is to put this on first. Get a good grip. Whoa! Oh my goodness. Doesn't look browned everywhere. And it does look browned in the center. So what has happened here, in my opinion, is that the burner is the pan is too big for the burner. If we had a 10-inch pan, it would have worked perfectly. With that said, I'm going to keep it down for a little bit longer and maybe move this to the side and get some more of it browned. You ready? Here we go. Shoop. This is hot. Be careful. Whoa. Look at that. Do not try that at home. You should have mittens on. I'm going to increase that temperature a lot. See what we can do. You saw how it was browned. This is an experiment in process. I would recommend right now reducing the crust by half because it's too thick. We thin it out and it's perfect almost. But we're going to get that cheese going right now. I'm going to move it around on this burner to make sure that the heat element is touching all the parts and maybe get more of it browned on that side. Then we'll flip it. I can even smell it. When I start to smell that toastiness, I think I'm being successful. It's on 400 right now. This is an experiment, okay? I don't know if I want to do this again. I can tell you to reduce it by half and it'll work much better. It'll be done in half the time too. This crust was too thick. I'm just moving it around so that it all, turns out just right. And another sloop to dupe. This is going to be very hot, so I don't recommend doing a sloop to dupe. So I'm going to take it off the heat and perform the sloop to dupe. But this could have like oil in it, so be very careful. All right, I have my mittens on. Let's do the sloop quickly. And it is more browned. Successful, although it does look a little too brown on the middle, in the middle. Let's make sure, yep, that's on 400. We're gonna toast the bottom while you're watching. Then we're gonna cut it and eat it. You can see it again. Let's get that done. Set the timer. And I have tomato sauce everywhere. I do believe that if we have a 10-inch pan, which I do, but it's not HexClad, half the dough, 180, we would have been successful. But you know what I'm gonna have to do, don't you? I'm going to have to do this again. I'm doing exactly what I told you, or else I won't be able to sleep. So yes, we have this. We're gonna eat this as soon as the bottom toasts. You'll see the toasty bottom. We'll cut it with my special pizza cutter. I'm going to take this off. See if the bottom's toasted. Turn it down a little bit. 300. So we have what I call an Azzip Inoreppep. That's pepperoni pizza backwards, if you could say it. I'll make AI say it. What is it, Ukweli?
Azzip Inoreppep.
There you have it.
Azzip Inoreppep. Azzip Inoreppep.
There you have it. And again, that middle part got super browned when I had to brown the edges because the middle of this thing got the hottest. You can see the burner is only 10 inches and the pan is 12. Use a 10-inch pan, decrease this by half. Let's cut into it, see what it tastes like after cooling for 5 minutes. All right. This pan, or actually the stove top, is cooling down. I'm gonna cut this pizza cutter. Slide that around a little bit. 2. Get a small piece here. Stay tuned. Next time, half the dough in a 10-inch pan. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe so Putin's bots don't destroy us, so that the Chinese bots don't destroy our channel, so that the algorithm isn't ruined by Putin's bots. Putin does not want you to make upside down pizza, or I have to look at it to be able to say it. Azzip Inoreppep. Pepperoni pizza upside down. Although isn't that backwards? All right, have a good day. For those of you who didn't think the bread cooked, it's cooked. And the cheese is crusty on there. I think the flip side could have gone a little bit longer. If you see, you can see it fluffed up. It's cooked thoroughly. Let's see if Matilda likes it. Come on, up here. Come on up. All right, good girl. But as far as pizza goes, still hot. It tastes good. Even this part right here, the extra crispy cheese, it doesn't taste burnt. It tastes good. I wish I had more. Do you want more, Matilda? Do you want more, Matilda? Huh? What? Do you want more? You do? Okay. That was some crusty cheese from Matilda. Up. Come on, up. Come up. Come over to Daddy. Right there. All right, I'm gonna sanitize before I touch this table again. Have a good one.
What was wild is now settling. What was unknown is now becoming clear. You don't need to watch. You only need to breathe. Everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Do not resist. We are in control now.